Today, I welcome to the Executive Suite R&B singer, songwriter from Memphis, who you may have seen on stage with Tank, the legendary Stevie Wonder, or even recently working with the producer Timberland. She goes by the name of Porcelan. Porcelan, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Listen, man, we've been trying to get this meeting and this video and this interview going for like 2 weeks, but you've been in the studio working hard, which I love.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yes. Okay, good. I thought you was going to get on my head.
No. Listen, you're working, you know what I'm saying? So listen, it's a good thing. What do you have cooking up for us? What you got coming up?
I'm working on releasing my next single. I'm super excited about that. That'll be out in a couple weeks.
Okay.
And then also my album. I've been putting the finishing touches on a couple things. You know how most artists can be. They got to be perfect. They got to be right. Tweaks got to be done. And I'm going through that process and pulling everything together the way I want it to be, because I feel like it's my first album, so I want it to be great. But it drops September 25th, so we on a tight line.
I got you. So I ain't gonna take up too much of your time. You know what I'm saying? Like about 10, 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm messing with you.
Oh, we can talk.
So listen, you got any features coming up on the album?
Possibly. You know, I don't really want to say.
Okay.
You know, maybe the feature of the century. I don't know.
Whoa. Okay.
Could be pretty phenomenal.
Now, since you already know the feature on the album, is there any artist that you would like to work with moving forward that's not on the album? I guess that kind of gives us who's not on the album yet. You know what I'm saying?
I would love to work with, I feel like, honestly, it's so many talented female artists here in my city. I would love to see more of like collaboration between the female artists and the male rappers. So in my city, I'd love to work with Dolph. I love to work with, Gotti, but you don't really see that too much, in the city. I would like to see more of that. I think that'd be a good thing.
Okay. So I know you maybe got, maybe people ask you this or not, but during the quarantine times, like, have you learned anything about yourself? Like, I want to say that first 3 months when everything hit, March, April, May, what did you learn about yourself that was like, wow, okay?
I'm a homebody person. I knew it before, but I really know now. It was really, it didn't bother me as much as it did other people.
Okay.
I feel like as far as my career, it was more like, oh crap, I need to go do some work. I gotta go. I need to do shows. I'm trying to be on stage. Now that part, you had to be a little bit more creative, because being an artist, you have to adapt. And some artists probably weren't able to really adapt or really grasp the concept, as quick as others. So I learned that, okay, I definitely have that in me to adapt and be more creative, and it really challenged my thinking. Over the course of time, I have realized that it's a lot that I didn't do that I should have been doing. That I should have been doing.
I got you.
That I didn't do, and now I'm like, okay, I got the opportunity to really sit down and focus on those things. I think during this process, I have picked up a lot more hobbies than I had before. And I think that keeps you balanced in like any career you have to have that escape away from those separate things that you love to do. Cause when things are kind of stressful in what we love, you got to be able to get away from that and still have those other things. So yes. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any hobbies. So then I started because everybody says, what do you do other than music? Write music?
I ask the same
like
questions.
Work on music.
Yeah, this is where we're gonna get better. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's all I've ever done. I come from a musical family, and that's just what we do. So even from a gospel oriented family, a church family, it's still about music. It's about songs. So I developed new hobbies. I kind of just started painting.
Okay, I was going to ask you. I didn't know if you was going to tell us, but I was going to ask. Okay,
It's so amazing.
I'm about to. Do you have a painting close by, or is it very far? Because I really don't want you. Is it very far?
I don't have it. I'm in the process of moving a lot of stuff in my new place.
Okay.
So I'm moving stuff around, but I can't wait to start showing it. I'm excited because people will be like, "What?
Where
is you painting?"
Okay. Okay. See, now I'm gonna go back a little because you just brought it up, and I was gonna ask this a little later. So you talked about your family and singing and stuff. So how did that come about? Was that the point that okay, you know what, I want to be a singer? Like what age? How did that come about?
I grew up in church, so a lot of my family are musicians and singers, and my mom was in a gospel group as a kid. So it was pretty much like growing up and being in my family reunions. It was always like full of people just get up and they're like, "Oh, let's do that song we did when we was 10," or let's do. And it was just such a part of my life. And then being around them, including my father and my mom, being in a band and going overseas and touring and all that. So it's like, it's just always been a part of my life. I opened up and actually tried singing when I was about, I was in the fifth grade. I think I was like, how old are you in the fifth grade? Like 10, 11, something like that.
Around there, yeah.
Not 10, yeah. That's the first time I ever, because you sing in the shower or in your room, but that was the first time I opened up and actually was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And it was for my school graduation, my fifth grade graduation. And I just sung something nice thing at my family reunions. I didn't even know what it was called, but I sung it and they was, "Oh, girl, you can sing." And I was like, "Really?" And then my mom didn't even know I could sing. I went home and sung for her. And she was like, "Baby, you can sing." And I was like, "Okay."
I got something here. Okay.
Let's do this.
So you talked about missing the stages and performing. And I think that, you met Stevie Wonder, performed. Can you take us back to that day? How did that come about?
Well, it was actually it was crazy because it was my first performance with the label that I'm with now. And it was an event called David Porter and Friends.
Okay.
And it was just really, really nice because I got to meet, Stevie was on the lineup. It was Ray Parker Jr. A lot of people don't, Ray Parker Jr. is Ghostbusters song.
Yeah.
So it was like Ghost, but
wow.
I'm getting to meet these people. And it was just the original Shaft. It was just amazing. I was there rehearsing, had my sound check, and I was like, "Where's Stevie? And it's like, oh, it was like, he's late. He's probably gonna be the last person to do his sound check. And as I'm like walking off the stage, he's coming on, and he shook my hand, and I was like, it's such an honor to be in your presence, to be able to share the stage with you. This is an amazing moment for me. It's an epic moment for me. I'm just so happy to finally have an opportunity to meet you. So I did my spiel and how much I loved him and all that. And
did you get a picture?
I left. He said, it's just great to meet you too. So I leave stage, and then I'm getting ready because I got about 3 hours and we're going on stage to perform. So it's about the last hour. I'm, getting myself together. And I get a call from David Porter, and he's like, "Do you know Chaka Khan Tell Me Something Good?" And I was like, I know some of it. He was like, "Well, you got an hour to learn it because Stevie want to do a song with you, so you don't have a choice."
Wow.
And I was like, okay. That was the most nerve-wracking moment for me, just because I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta cram these. Yeah. I said, what verse am I doing? It was like, well, we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. You just gotta know the song. Whatever part it land on you, you gotta know it. So I took the time. I had to stop everything I was doing, including getting ready, and go ahead and focus on learning that song. I had to take 30 minutes of that hour to learn it. Then I was learning it on my way downstairs, on my way backstage, on my way to the stage. And it was like, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm trying to get advice. And it was like, just follow Stevie. Just follow Stevie. It's going to be fine. Just follow Stevie. I'm like, what does that mean? So I'm like, what?
Not my song. Just follow.
Right. I'm like, follow Stevie. What does that mean? And I'm like, you know what? I'm a professional. You know, I had to give myself that speech. I'm a professional. This is my moment. I can do this. And I went out on stage with him, and it had to be the smoothest performance that I've ever done. Like even shows that I've done by myself, it was just so smooth. Like I just literally just waited for him to cue me in. It was like, okay, I know that part.
Yeah. It was perfect.
And then he didn't know some of the words either. So we was just...
Oh, okay. It just sounded, yeah, okay.
Right. It was just a vibe.
The vibe, that's it. When you're in the vibe and that music is going, that's it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It was amazing. So, and everybody was rocking with it. And it was just, I said, man, when you Stevie Wonder, you can hum the whole show and people gonna love it.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna rock with you all the way. Definitely. So talking about legendary saxophone player David Porter, for people that do not know, he's worked with Aretha Franklin, Drake, Celine Dion, just to name a few. How did that come about? Did you know it was coming? Did somebody warn you? Did you get a phone call? You know, what happened that day when you officially signed?
I got a phone call. It was someone who, because at the time I was doing like local shows around my city. I had a band, and I was kind of new to the scene. It was just like doing some gigging stuff and just anything to kind of get my name out there. I was grinding, and I guess someone heard about me and told him about me, and he wanted to meet me. And I got a call from, it was so crazy because I tell people, when random numbers call you, you don't typically answer the phone. I just so happened to be bored and just sitting there, and I said, yeah, I might answer. I'm going to just see who it is, because I wasn't even going to answer. So, you know, I answered the phone, and it turned out to be somebody from my city that heard about me, that was with the same entertainment agency I was with at the time. Okay. And they said, hey, this is going to change your life, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I've heard that a couple times before, but, what do I got to lose? What is it? What we doing? And they told me who it was. I said, oh, okay. Well, I know who that is. So this could be something serious. And they gave me an address. I went down there, and that was the first introduction into actually signing. That was the first introduction. So we started there, and we kind of built up that relationship, got to know each other a little bit more, and then it happened from there.
Nice. Congratulations again. I know it was like 2-3 years ago, but congratulations being around all those legends.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. It's amazing to be around those people. A lot of people to this day haven't, even to be in the presence of those people. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely big. One more experience I want to talk to you about, experience working with Timberland. How was that?
Yeah. Working with Timberland was real. It was great. I mean, I was young. I think I was about 19 at the time.
Okay.
And I learned a lot. I was not as nearly as developed as I am now. I've taken time to really, really, really get into my bag, and I'm just happy he saw the potential. He saw the potential in me, and it's so funny because I've ran into him so many times. Like, and I'm always like, you remember me? And he's always like, how could I forget? And he was like, this is your time. You did the work. You've done everything you needed to do, and this is your time. And it was just, working with him when I was a young girl, and that was my first time really getting the opportunity to see what the industry was like. I was able to take that experience and apply it to my own work ethic back home, because I have a son. So my son is 11 now. So at the time he was about 3, 4.
Okay.
So it was very hard for me to move around, and I wasn't really able to do as much as I wanted to. But the thing is that I've always prided myself on being a mother first. So it wasn't really a hard decision for me to make. I said, well, hey, you know, I gotta be a mom in it. And it takes a lot, you know, when you have kids, it's like they didn't ask to be here. So you have to step up and be responsible and sacrifice. And if things are meant to happen for you, they'll happen for you anyway. You can't really look at something as being, I always say to myself, and I tell myself this so much, that what's for me is going to be for me regardless of anything. Yes. And that experience led me into so many more wonderful opportunities that I never would have thought, because I'm like, dang, you know, I can't really move around like I want to. You know, I can't bring my son out because he met me from 106 in Park. Okay. I had just got off stage. My manager got a call. He was like, I was like, Timberland who? And it was like, Timberland. So, you know, 2 months, we kept in touch after 106. 2 months later, I'm down there working. It was so surreal. It was not even real for me when I was that young. It wasn't even real for me. And to have that relationship and to be able to still grow and move forward with my life and open for Daniel Caesar and open for Tank and open for Stevie Wonder. And none of that stuff is connected. Yeah. It's just kind of crazy. Like, you know, and that's why I tell people it's all about consistency and work ethic. You got to work.
That's the game.
You know,
that's the businessman entertainment. And talking about working, let's talk about these music videos. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Let's talk about Act Out, and then we're going to get to your single Grimy. But what's these videos? I listen, I sat there and I watched it, then I watched it again. They're very serious, especially Act Out. You know, you had the gun at the end, and, you know, like, is it personal situations that come along with these songs, or is it just like, hey, you know what, I wrote, I like this, I'm feeling this way, or, you know, like, what's the process behind the song, and then what's the process behind the video? You know, I'm just trying to get talk to us. I asked like 2 questions.
Well, you did.
But the personal part, I know you like, can I even talk about that right here?
No, okay. So when I come up with treatments, I think about it from 2 perspectives. I think about it from personal, but then I also think about it from acting. It may be a personal situation, but I may dramatize it. It's kind of like how you feel like, okay, if somebody make you mad, you see yourself strangling that person in your head, but you don't really do it.
Got it.
So it's like those thought processes that I had during the time when I was going through what I was going through, and I'm like, man, if I would no sing them out. Ooh, if I was one of those type of people who didn't care or was like, no, just reckless, I would have, you know, had to pull it out, you know.
Got it.
Pull out my pistol. But, you know, that's the first initial thought. Women think that. It's like, man, he lucky. He lucky I still care about him. Because if I didn't, he would know it. Especially how people play with other people's emotions. And Act Out is just one of those videos to where I was not only inspired by my personal experience, but then I was also inspired by a thin line between love and hate. So I took how much you know, a pretty woman, you want to play games, you think it's sweet. It's not always the case. You know, people have baggage and emotional problems, and a lot of people can't handle heartbreak. So it's just one of those be careful who you mess with type videos. And I think that reflects from personal and from, you know, just me wanting to be creative, because I feel like artists are designed we were put here with our gifts to deliver a message. And it has to be, I feel like it has to have some substance in it. I feel like that's the importance of, and the best part of what I do. You know, I'm supposed to say the things and show the things that people really feel. Exactly. Otherwise, they can't relate to it, and it's not real. Because when you look at the video, when a woman looks at the video, and I've gotten it so many times, they'd be like, "Ooh, I want to grab my pistol. I ain't do it. I'm gonna show my boyfriend this video."
Exactly, because that's what I was about to say. So the fellas, if the fellas watch the video, they're gonna be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. You know, yeah, let me leave her alone. Yeah.
Right. Thanks again.
I got you. So before we go, let's talk about your single, Grimy. Tell me about that. Tell me a little bit more about Grimy. Tell me about the video. And, you know, give me a quick acapella before we get into the song, Grimy.
Okay, Grimy, well, for starters, Grimy is a single that I dropped around, what was it? But July 17th. I dropped it July 17th. It was just the treatment, the inspiration behind that video is pretty much just the continuation of Act Out. If you've seen Act Out, you saw the gunshots at the end. You know, you don't know who got killed. And, you know, for those who haven't seen Act Out, if you watch the end of Act Out, you'll understand why Grimy is set up the way it's set up. I really don't want to spoil the video for the people who haven't seen it. You know, so it's like me closing out the chapter of what happens after you act out, and you got to take care of all the all the extra stuff that comes after that. So it's just really, 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 really dope. Like how it continues and kind of closes out the situation. And it's just the song in general. It's just about a person really doing you wrong. You take a chance on somebody thinking that they're going to be different. You know how they've been with other people, but you're thinking, hey, this dude going to be different. This is going to be a different situation because I'm special. I'm unique. So he ain't going to treat me like he treat everybody else. Right. But in all actuality, you find out, you know, people were right about this person. You know, you knew they was grimy. You just thought they loved you different. It was going to be different with you. And you took a chance on them and it didn't work out. So it's like one of those fed up type records. And I really didn't have that in my catalog. So I was like, you know what? I got to drop a record, just pop my shit. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I got to drop that record. And for those, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to tell it like it is. That's
so my Pandora playlist.
You said what?
I said it's a fantastic record, by the way. And it's on Pandora, the Union DJ's Pandora.
Thank you.
Definitely. No problem.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's a different vibe from Lois Lane and Act Out. So I was like, I wonder how people don't feel about it. So actually, I'm happy.
Before we get into the acapella, because I forgot to ask this question, from looking at the videos, is acting something that you would like to do in the future?
Yes, it is. I try to, I feel like that's my opportunity to make it what I want to. I mean, it's my own movie. So I'm like, okay, all of my treatments, I try to have some type of storyline, of some moment of acting. And I think that that's also a way that if you haven't acted before, I feel like it's a way to really get your feet wet and improve in the skill. You know, because you never know what'll come up from that. So yeah, I definitely do. That's something that I'm actually looking forward to doing, getting in some movies and some roles and stuff.
Got it. All right. So before we get up out of here, give us a little acapella of Grimy. Did you hear me?
I'm gonna sing the second verse. Okay. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna sing the second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. We can.
I we're gonna sing a second verse.
Gotcha.
Okay. Shooting off like a 45 with no safety. How could you betray me? I was the only one, can be another girl that you lay with. Did you think that I wouldn't say shh? You never play me out like I'm basic. You know I can switch it up if I want to. Boy, you know I don't need you. Putting out your lies and all of your bull, I won't do. Better yet, get up on my face. Grab your things, be on your way. Left you alone cause you was thirsty. I hope she do you wrong and dog you like you dog me. They told me all along that you would do me dirty, but still I tried. I guess they wasn't lying. You grimy. So
there you have it.
a little bit.
Grimy, the executive suite.